So you've mastered builder gel and you decided to put dip powder directly over it, but how are you going to get it off? What's up, nail crew? It's Nicole, your fellow nail obsessed DIYer, and today we are going to talk all about how to e-file dip powder off. First, you want to make sure that your bits are clean. This is something that I have to be honest, I'm not always good at doing. Sometimes I forget to clean my bits, but it makes such a huge difference in removal if you keep your bits clean and just for overall cleanliness to make sure that you're not getting, any kind of infections or anything, even if you just use the bits on yourself. When I'm doing removal of dip powder or builder gel, I like to use my Pana Coarse spiral bit, safety bit. This way I know that I am not going to accidentally scratch up my cuticles. This safety bit's just worked really well for me because sometimes I am a little bit wild with the e-file, even though I've been using it for a while and I know that I shouldn't be. Sometimes I'm just like trying to get my dip off or my builder gel off fast, and the safety bit has saved me multiple times. I highly recommend using the coarse bit. I've tried the extra coarse and the 3X coarse, and I tried the 2X coarse ones. After trying all those, I did a comparison a while back of trying the 3X coarse and the coarse bits, and the coarse bit worked better for me. I was shocked. I really thought that a 3X coarse or one of the really coarse ones would work better for removing the dip or removing builder gel, but for some reason the coarse just works so much better. Something that really is going to help you is you need to keep your e-file up at a high speed. I know this sounds really scary. When I first started, I was only keeping my e-file at maybe like 8 to 10,000 RPMs, and I was having to push into my nail a lot harder, and it took me longer to e-file off my dip or my builder gel, whatever I was using. Now that I keep it between like 20 and 22, sometimes up to 25 if it's a chunky glitter and I just want to get it off, keeping it up like that, I have cut myself way less. My dip powder comes off so much easier, as does builder gel, and I'm not pressing into my nails. When you're using your e-file, if you're having to press into your nails really hard, you know that most likely your speed is not up high enough. And that's one of the things that's really nice about using a drill that shows what speed you're at. When I've used some drills that didn't have a speed on it, and I have to be honest, sometimes it's a little harder to remove product if you don't know like how fast the speed is going. And especially if you're a newbie, it's much easier to see what speed you have. So I have one e-file that I don't have the speed on. It just has 3 speeds, and it works it works well for me just for certain things because I'm pretty used to the e-file now. But again, if you're starting out, you definitely want to buy an e-file that has a speed on it. You don't want to be thinking you're at a 20 and you're actually only at a 10. So that's why it's taking a lot longer to get your dip or your builder gel or whatever you're doing off. The other reason you might have to be pressing into your nail too hard with an e-file, if you're up at like a 20 or 25,000 RPM, is your bit is too old and the teeth have started to wear down. You don't want to use your bit until all the teeth wear off, or else it's not going to be as effective and you're more likely to cut yourself. The one that I was using in this video is starting to get old, and that's probably why it slipped and cut my finger. I do that on occasion. One way to help you e-file and to avoid cuts on your hand is to use an anchor finger on your other hand. So I'm e-filing my left hand and holding the e-file in my right hand. I either use my pinky or my ring finger to anchor underneath the finger that I'm e-filing on, and that really helps me to not have the e-file slip and to make sure that I can get the dip off the safest, the fastest. Another thing that I also absolutely do every single time now is I wear these disposable latex gloves and then just cut the fingertips off. You guys could see, look how much dip and powder is flying all over. That would be all over my hands if I wasn't wearing gloves. And after I was kind of giving myself overexposure allergies this fall, I absolutely have to use gloves every single mani now just to keep my skin from getting itchy and irritated from having the dip powder on them. Especially when I'm e-filing, that I've noticed is the time where they get the most irritated. And now whenever I do my nail swatches of dip colors, I always wear gloves covering my entire hands. I don't even let my fingertips out or anything. I wear full gloves when I do my swatching. It's been so much better. I'm not getting itchy hands because when you think about it, it's like products sitting on your skin, just sitting there, and it's going to irritate you. You're going to give yourself an overexposure allergy or something like that from leaving it on your skin too much. And if you watch a lot of nail techs now, they're all either wearing gloves or they're wearing at least one glove that takes the majority of the product, as they're doing somebody else's nails. So I feel like for me and anybody else who likes to do their nails a lot, and even if you don't, why would you not want to be extra safe? If you want to start using an e-file to remove your dip powder mayonnaise, I highly recommend doing some kind of base under your mayonnaise. If you can't use builder gel because you're allergic or just don't like it, you can also do a couple dips of clear too to build your apex. Then you're always going to go down and have something protecting your natural nails after you file through like your main mayonnaise of dip powder. This way you don't go all the way through and then be hitting your natural nails with a coarse e-file bit, because you do not want to use anything but a sanding bit on your natural nails. So that's why I switch over to a sanding bit, and I showed a little bit here. You don't want to shove the bit, this is in general, you don't want to shove the bit all the way in the file into the e-file, and you don't want to have it out so far that like you're holding it really awkwardly. You want to hold an e-file like you hold a pencil. And I like to use a sanding bit to go around and just like make sure that everything is nice and smooth. And I leave some of my builder gel on all the time, because as long as it's not lifting, there's no lifting, there's no moisture getting under. So I just do a fill of my builder gel, and then I can go back and do my mani. Now, whether I'm using a gel top coat or gel base and gel top coat over my builder gel and then using peel base, or if I'm dipping directly over my builder gel, then I can skip a gel base and gel top. You don't want your nail surface to be super uneven when you're doing a fill, whether it's with dip powder or builder gel, because then you're going to have some weird shaping going on and then have to try to fix it with, hand filing. That's just going to be way more work. It's not going to set as nice. That's why I like to go through with my sanding bit and make sure that everything is nice and smooth, but you're not trying to get it super smooth. You just want it to be even. You still need the surface a little bit roughed up so you can get your next product to adhere. So for me, I want my surface to be a little roughed up so that I can adhere my builder gel. If you're somebody who's using clear dip powder as a base, then you want to make sure your surface is a little bit roughed up so that clear dip powder can adhere nicely over top. Once you're done, you can take some isopropyl alcohol on a stiff nail brush and really brush downwards on your nails to make sure that you get all that dust off. Then you can see how your shape is looking. And this is where I like to go, and I like to fix up any shaping that I need. And whenever you're doing your shaping, so since I have a little bit of builder gel still on my nails, I can shape up pretty quickly and not have to worry about my nails being too thin. So I just go around them, fix up my shape, because anytime I'm using an e-file, I feel like my shape just gets a little wonky, because sometimes I kind of tap the sides of my nails accidentally with the e-file, so it might mess up the shape. And this way, okay, like my shaping is going to look nice for when I redo my base layer, whether it's the builder gel or the clear dip powder, then you're going to have that nice shaping all ready to go before you even go and put anything over it. So I just do a quick file and make sure that it's looking good before I start my first application of that bottom layer for my protection on my nails. I keep jumping back and forth between rounded almonds and pointy almonds, so I feel like my nails are getting shorter and shorter, even though I've grown them out, because I keep going back and forth like, okay, do I want them more rounded? Do I want them pointed? But that's the nice thing about doing your own nails, is you can pick whatever shape that you want. Then I like to go through and make sure that my both hands match each other. Now, I'll be honest, I don't always do this because most of the time I forget, but today I actually remembered to see if my nails are the same length. Then I want to go through with my cuticle pusher, push on my cuticles back, and start my dry cuticle prep. I always like to do a dry cuticle prep because my nails last so much longer. I have seen so many people say that their nails are lifting, and like 95% of the time it's because they're using a liquid cuticle remover or like washing their hands during it. Something with liquid that you definitely don't want to use in your cuticle prep. That is why I do a completely dry cuticle prep. The only wetness that I get on my nails is the isopropyl alcohol. So I like to go around all my cuticles and very gently get off any of the excess with a diamond ball bit. This has been the safest for me, rather than like clipping or anything. I haven't clipped in a really long time, and my cuticles grow so much nicer and don't look so ragged outside of like them being really dry. Going around with a little ball bit has been the easiest for me as well, because I barely have to touch my skin and it gets all the excess cuticles out. Now, once you finish with all your prep like this, then you'll be ready to clean off your nails and apply your builder gel as your nice overlay for under your mayonnaise. If you're still struggling with your builder gel overlays and how to apply it and get it to last long, check out this next video. Thanks so much for joining me today, Nail Crew.